Hey guys, Bix Weir, roadtoro.com. Let's talk Germany and the new probe. It's amazing that you get news articles planned with at times that they want the market to fail. So right now, with everything's going on with the coronavirus and all that, the markets are weak. Everything is weak. Bubbles have way overblown. Right now is the time they usually throw out, bang, here's Deutsche Bank. Oh, we're arresting these people. Deutsche Bank's involved with this, involved with that. They did it again today. Unbelievable. Germany probes Deutsche Bank. Payments to Saudi royal advisor. German prosecutors are investigating two former Deutsche Bank employees for allegedly paying 1.1 million to secure the wealth management business of a senior Saudi royal. The money transfers were arranged from 2011 to 2012, along with other perks. 1.1 million is nothing. These guys pay off billions. 1.1 million is just another thing that lay down on Deutsche Bank at a time when it is in trouble. Let's just say they're in trouble because of many things. There's nothing good on the horizon for Deutsche Bank, but they're still one of the largest derivative players in the world. 49 trillion, I believe it is right now, US dollar. 43 trillion euros, something to that effect. Trillion, not million, not billion. If you look at the market cap of Deutsche Bank, it's 17 billion, which is up substantially in the last 6 months. Why? Because there was no new news coming out about Deutsche Bank. So they let the system run for the last 6 months, and now they're going to bring them down again. It's a game with the media, the good guys, the bad guys, the banksters, the politicians. There is a little man behind the curtain. It is exactly like the Wizard of Oz. That little man was out on Greenspan through the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. Because he wrote the first financial computer programs to rig the market back in the 1960s. Yes, he was the little man behind the curtain, working for Arthur Burns, the head of the Fed. And then obviously in 1987, Reagan, a good guy, appointed Greenspan to run the Fed. Within 2 months, the market crashed because of computer issues. The world's best computer programmer was in charge of everything. And still is to this day. All these markets are fake. So yes, they can bring up the price of Deutsche Bank, even if it is a shit company with no prospects in the future and a monster derivative book. And now we have a huge problem because we got the Brexit hitting the end of the month. The Brexit, just because they passed the Brexit doesn't mean anything. Then it goes to the negotiation. How will the UK deal with Europe? They're basically, everything's going to remain the same while they negotiate, except the political part is removed. As of the end of the month, there's no UK representation in the European Union. On the political side, they're still going to be trading. But now they have to negotiate a deal, and they have 1 year to do that. Well, 11 months to the end of the year. It is ugly, and it will stay ugly. But this isn't the be-all, end-all. All of a sudden, Deutsche Bank loses everything. But there are huge problems when the UK no longer has a political say in the matters of the European Union. Nigel Farage is out. I don't even know if he's still the guy who's there. But here's the timeline for Brexit. January 2020, would be Friday, the Brexit bill passes. It already passed, so the day trade talks can begin within weeks of January 31st. That's the Brexit day, January 31st, 2020. Year zero in Cliff High's data, by the way. And then June is the deadline for extending the transition period. Of course, they'll extend it because they're going to get nothing done. And then by the end of the year, has the trade deal been agreed and ratified? If it is yes, then the UK starts a new relationship with the EU on whatever they negotiate. If it is no, they will exit the trade deal without anything, which would mean no trade back and forth. The likelihood of that is not even, truthfully, the system's not even going to stay intact till that point. there might be no reason to even have any further discussions. The UK is in deep, deep doo-doo with negative interest rates, and I think it's over 10 trillion in debt have negative interest rates, which means bleeding the banks dry. All right. UK finance sector losing hope of securing post-Brexit basic EU access. This is all done on purpose. This is the end game. So the political arm is gone at the end of the week, political representation of the UK, but they're fighting over really political things. Britain's finance sector is losing hope of securing even basic access to European Union markets from December 31st. That's the end of this year, as talk in the EU waits for UK fishing rights in exchange draws the industry into political struggle between the bloc and its departing member. So they'll have no political hunt in the game, dog in the game, dog in the hunt, but the EU will be literally deciding the fate of that relationship. Hopes were high that Prime Minister Boris Johnson would prioritize the financial sector, Britain's largest export industry and biggest corporate tax generator and biggest fraud of mankind. Yes, New York and Washington, D.C. are fraud. The UK is 50 times worse. London, the city of London, 50 times worse when it comes to financial crimes. But bank sources say a push by the EU for fishing access to UK waters and London's stance that it will diverge from EU rules are prompting them to review hard Brexit plans that could see more jobs than anticipated move to Europe. The reality is Deutsche Bank is so weak at the moment. Anything thrown into the mix is trouble. Anything. And there's a lot. So this is why stuff like this comes out. There'll be more dinging of Deutsche Bank. Would I short the stock? Hell no. I wouldn't short the Dow. They can place that price anywhere in the world. They can't fix the structural problems of quadrillions in derivatives going bad. And we will have one of these large banks. All it takes is one to prick the everything bubble, the bond bubble, the stock market bubble, everything. And I do think we will see the shutdown of exchanges in 2020. And that's all exchanges, because they're all derivative exchanges. This, Deutsche Bank, that is complete. It's false. The Dow going down 436 points. It's not a freely traded market. It's insane that people say it is. Average daily volumes. Look at the average daily volumes. 4.5 million shares on Deutsche Bank trade on the average daily volume. And the total float is, I could do this math real fast, believe it or not. The total float of Deutsche Bank would be 17 billion. 17 billion. 857 is current price. Is that 20? 20 million, and then a quarter of all shares traded today. It's fake. This whole thing is fake. It is a fake market with fake numbers, and it's all determined with computers and derivatives. I was been screaming this since the early 2000s. In 2007, I figured out who invented the first financial rigging markets. That's what root A is. Root A is a programming term. Alan Greenspan blames himself for Y2K, one of the participants. The world's most prolific financial computer programmer, Alan Greenspan, since the 1960s, when him and his buddy John Kimeny, the guy who invented BASIC, wrote the programs to create our financial system. And of course, he was rigging the markets since the early days because of his relationship with Arthur Burns, the head of the Federal Reserve System. It's all in the Road to Root of documents. Go check him out. This is all coming not from Bix Weir, but my analysis of the Fed document and my analysis of Alan Greenspan. Yes, Alan Greenspan was part of the group that invented Bitcoin. It was a group that invented Bitcoin. within the federal government. It began with the guy who invented BASIC. Actually, there's two guys who invented BASIC. John Kimeny, and the other guy's name is Kurtz. But Kimeny was the guy who made computer programming available to the people. That was his goal in life. Get computers in the hands of the people, not just the government. And Alan Greenspan ran with it back in the 1960s. So yes, the world's best financial computer programmer, who was in charge of money throughout his entire life practically, was involved in the invention of Bitcoin. It started with John Kimeny. It went to Greenspan. Then it went to Steve Jobs, put the computer in the hands of people with the iPhone. Without iPhones, Bitcoin would be an interesting little thing, but you couldn't walk around with it. It wouldn't be portable. And this all is from the group. Most people have figured out by now that the U.S. government was involved with the invention of Bitcoin. And there's a group of people, not a single individual. There's only one guy, I don't know what he did. And it was the guy closest to the release. It might have been Gavin Andresen. This is from an RV that was done on it. And a lot of the psychics are saying the exact same thing. I know you guys, a lot of people don't believe in that stuff. But I can tell you about Alan Greenspan, that wasn't a psychic thing. That was an analysis. And from his own writings. He's the one who invented the Y2K problem. He screwed up by only putting 2 digits. So, anyway, yes, markets are all rigged 100% every day. There is no such thing as a fair market value that is freely traded. Right now, who controls it? Probably Steve Mnuchin and the Exchange Stabilization Fund. Run out of the basement of the U.S. Treasury. There's a computer trading floor in the basement of the U.S. Treasury and at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, where all the rigging is done. That's the story, my friends. So when you see Deutsche Bank share price, that's rigged. Every day, every trade. So when the riggers want the system to crash, you'll see Deutsche Bank go down under $3, I hear is the number. And right now it's at $8.50. How fast can it drop down? Pretty damn fast. They are such a weak company, and they have $49 trillion in derivatives that are going bad. So will it be Brexit? Who knows? But given that they've started the bad news cycle again, this isn't the only one. Watch, there'll be more. As we get deeper into this, there'll be more probes of Deutsche Bank. They know that's the weak link. So keep an eye out for that. And on the private road, I had the Turning Point, posted this to private road members a couple weeks ago. Go check it out. All you private road members, just go to the private road at Road to Ruta, and you can click on the Friday road trips. That'll give you the archives, and you can go back, over 10 years now on the Road to Ruta. And then I was writing back in the late 1990s about gold and silver manipulation. You want to know about gold and silver manipulation? Go to Road to Ruta, type in on the search function silver manipulation. 1,129 articles on silver manipulation. That's insane. Go check it out, roadtoruta.com. Also, by the way, I keep forgetting to tell people, there's a free newsletter that goes out every time I put out a video. Go to roadtoruta.com, sign up for the free newsletter right here. Subscribe and you get a free book. Check it out. You can't beat that. It's free. Put your name in there, and then you'll get emails when I post things, and on occasion, just articles and things like that. Check it out. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.
Here's a true story about a man just like you. He worked his whole life, he was honest and true. Built up a nest egg the way they said to. Invest in the market, money works for you. Everything is fine, picking the winners every time. Started to believe he can make dollars out of dime. Little did he know he's being primed for a fall. The riggers let you play, then the riggers steal the ball. We want free markets, not a million phantom trades. Lest everyone's honest, we're gonna lose what we made. Got to shut down exchanges, trade one for one. We want free markets, well, our work's just begun. Free markets are the road to freedom. Capitalism, not as bad as they say. The world has never tried it, rigging markets every day. Socialists fail every time in every way. We need a better system to forge a better day. We want free markets, not a million phantom trades. Lest everyone's honest, we're gonna lose what we made. We gotta shut down exchanges till they trade one for one. We want free markets, our work's just begun. Free markets are the road to freedom. I said free markets are the road to freedom. Solution, if only done right. We can take out the liars, bring dark into light, and trust in the math, not the people who lie. I think we can make it if we give it a try. We want free markets, not a million phantom trades. Lest everyone's honest, we're gonna lose what we made. We gotta shut down exchanges till they trade one for one. We want free markets, our work's just begun. 'Cause free markets are the road to freedom. I said free markets are the road to freedom. Free markets are the road to freedom.